Now listen, you guys need to go clean out the barn this morning. No, 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 we don't want to do it. Now wait a minute. I have told you again and again that it's your job to clean out the barn. And what do? You say, no, 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 we don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to clean out the barn. No, we're not going to do it. And you're not going to make us do clean out the barn. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to hear that. You caught us in the middle of a conversation here where if I have asked my friends to clean out the barn, it'd be like cleaning your room. You need to clean your room. For them, it's to clean out the barn. And they have been very obstinate this morning. In fact, they've been talking about not cleaning out the barn and actually going out to the far end of the pasture and hanging out there. And I just don't think that's fair because I've asked them to do something and they've just not been very cooperative. In fact, they're almost like kicking and screaming. I can just they're stop it. Oh man. Hey, did you ever hear someone use the phrase kicking and screaming? Like, I'll do it, but I'll be kicking and screaming the whole way. Or you might have heard the phrase, they were dragged kicking and screaming. Well, this kicking and screaming phrase is often used to describe someone like my friends here who have been forced to go somewhere or do something with extreme reluctance, usually with lengthy and vehement protests. And they were, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, don't make me do it. So it's sort of like we could say this about Mike. I really thought Mike would be perfect for the job, but he had to be dragged kicking and screaming into an interview for it. Or we could say this: when we were kids, we were dragged kicking and screaming to our grandparents' boring old house every summer for 2 weeks. So, did you ever have to do something that you really didn't want to do and you complained and were kicking and screaming the whole way? No, 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 I don't want to do it. Well, yeah, okay. So, I think there is someone from the Bible that sort of experienced that same thing. When I hear the phrase, they were dragged kicking and screaming, who do you think of from the Bible? Do you think who I'm thinking of? Well, maybe so. I'm thinking of a man by the name of Jonah. That's right, Jonah. And some of you know the story of Jonah. We've sung about it, we've talked about it, but basically it's the story where God says to Jonah, Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh and I want you to preach there. I want you to have the people turn to me. And Jonah says, no, I'm not going to do it. And he disobeyed God. And actually, he went to a place called Tarshish, which was the opposite direction from where Nineveh was. Do you remember what these guys said they were going to do? They were going to go to the opposite end of the pasture, as far away from the barn as they could get. That's sort of what Jonah was doing. And there, he got on a ship and he was sailing to Tarshish because he was running away from God. He was kicking and screaming, saying, I'm not going to obey God. So, what happened? Well, while Jonah was on the boat, there was a large storm that came across the Mediterranean Sea, and it was so big of a storm the ship was in danger of breaking up, and all the sailors on the boat were scared, and they were crying out to their own gods for help, and they were throwing things overboard to make the ship lighter. But where was Jonah? Well, he was below the deck sleeping. There he had gone and he had laid down. Even in the middle of the storm, he was sleeping. And so the captain of the ship went down to him and they said, Jonah, how can you sleep? You need to come out and pray with us. Maybe your God will listen to us and he won't let us die. And Jonah says to them, well, I am a Hebrew and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth. Well, pray to him, they said. And he said, well, I shouldn't because I'm running away from him. And he told them what he was doing. And they said, how could you do a thing like that? How could you disobey your God? Well, the sea was getting rougher and rougher. And so they asked Jonah, what should we do to you to make the sea calm down? Because obviously it's your fault. You disobeyed God. And so this is happening to us. Well, Jonah said, pick me up, throw me into the sea, and then it will all become calm. It's my fault that this terrible storm has come on you, and I need to now do the right thing. So they took Jonah, and as you know, they threw him overboard, and the sea became calm. Now, when they threw Jonah overboard, did he swim away? No, he didn't. The Lord sent a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of this fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Hmm. Well, maybe you've been asked to do something you didn't want to do. How did you respond? Did you kick and scream? Did you go, no, I'm not going to do it? Well, we might not have been so theatrical or dramatic in our saying no, but we probably have said no sometimes, maybe to our parents, to our friends, to our team members, um, maybe to people we worked for, our bosses, our employers. We might have said no, and we might have on the inside been kicking and screaming. I'm sure I've reacted that way sometimes. Maybe not shouting out loud, but maybe being pretty stubborn and rude on the inside. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. Well, when I was doing that, I was being stubborn, just like Jonah. And Jonah had to learn the lesson of disobedience the hard way. And so he had to spend some time in the belly of this big fish. And while he was there, though, he said a very interesting thing. In Jonah chapter 2, verses 9 and 10, Jonah says this in the belly of the fish: "O God, I will sacrifice a thank offering to you. I will shout with thankful praise. I will now do what I have promised. And I will say, Lord, you are the one who saves." And the Lord gave the fish a command, and it spit Jonah up onto dry land. And Jonah did what God told him to do. Now, just imagine what life would have been like for Jonah if he had obeyed God right away instead of resisting. You know, I don't want to resist God. I need to resist doing what I want to do if it means, disobeying God. I want to do what's right. I want to do what God wants me to do and what He asks me to do. And I also need to do the things that others may ask of me that are the right things to do, like cleaning out the barn, okay? So we need to be kind and considerate to the people who are asking things of us, those who do have the right to tell us some of the things that we should be doing, like our employers, like our parents, like our friends, like our team members. They have the right idea, and we should be obeying them rather than resisting them. James 4:7 says, "So obey God and resist the devil." That's right. We don't want to do the things that are wrong. We want to do the things that are right, right? So you guys going to go clean out the barn? Oh, okay, we'll go clean out the barn. So off they go. Well, I thank them for doing that. And I thank you for attempting to obey God and for promising not to try to kick and scream anymore, but to live at peace and be kind to each other, even to those who ask you to do things that you might not want to do right away, even though you know it's the right thing to do. Hey, have a day filled with joy and a day filled with peace. No kicking and screaming. All right, I'll see you later.